Hi, my name is Jack Hanley. I'm the bass player from Piston and St. Patrick, and for a while now I've been wanting to record some of these bass tips or things I picked up over the years, and I apologize it's not the greatest video, but information's information, I guess. So the first one, which I believe might be the most important and overlooked, is just how much you're thinking when you're playing, and how you should be thinking and when you should be thinking. Even though music is a very physical thing, where you have to train your hands and a lot of technique and hand-eye coordination and economy of motion, it's very intensive with your hands and all that kind of stuff. You'd be surprised how much just your thinking, having nothing to do with playing, is affecting you. For instance, a lot of beginners, I see this all the time, will set a lot of unrealistic goals for themselves in the beginning, where they feel they should be doing this by this point, by a month they should be able to do this, or they're seeing other people who started around them and they're doing much better, and they'll talk themselves into a negative state where they feel like they're not good enough, or they're not meant to do this. And that's not true at all. I mean, everybody excels at certain things. Like if you're really good at something, something else is going to get you stuck later, and someone else who might be getting stuck now will excel at something later. Usually in the end it takes about the same time for everybody to learn. It's the amount of practice time that you put in that really tends to separate people. But basically, all in all, if you have a negative feeling when you play, if you're setting goals and you're not reaching them, you create this negative, I'm not good enough all the time kind of attitude. And many people quit for that very reason, and they don't even realize they're doing it to themselves. Where if you just would have not thought about it so much and you would have just enjoyed playing, you would have been great before you know it, and you would have loved playing. You would have never stopped. I wanted to go over, though, if you have been playing a while, how sometimes thinking can really mess you up. Of course, when you're practicing, that's the time to think. You kind of want to gain muscle memory with technique, with learning a song. You really know something the best when you don't have to think about it. And most people, I would think, that's how they do it. They get a song to a point where they don't have to think about it. The muscle memory, the technique, everything's there. So then when they hit the stage, it's automatic. But then that's where, including myself, I used to mess up at that point. I'd go to all that trouble, and then I'd hit the stage, and then I'd start thinking about, did I make a mistake? What comes next? What's the next part? What's that person in the audience doing? Usually people think of negative things, but sometimes they're positive things. But I like to draw the comparison to your brain is like a computer. Even if you've programmed in all this great information, if you're running a lot of unnecessary programs at the same time, you're only distracting yourself. It's only going to cause problems. Where if you had done all that practice time as you intended to be able to play without thinking, and you just know it, if you were able to shut your mind off, then you will execute at your highest ability, because you're not distracting your thinking or your brain at all while you're playing. And also, I've studied Indian music for a while. Their philosophy is also kind of interesting on this. When they play, they meditate a lot, and they will usually meditate on the emotion that the piece is trying to convey. Where they feel, blues players do this too, where they feel that emotion that they're trying to play, it helps them convey it in their playing. A lot of times with minute details or how they hit a certain note. But there are little small things you can put in any part that can give off some kind of emotion. So sometimes you may accidentally not realize it, but you may be adding these things that you're thinking that have nothing to do with the song into your playing. And that's something that, to me, is a waste. So to me, when you're on stage, the best thing you can do is to trust yourself and not think. And if you do think, try to keep it light and about what you're trying to convey in the song. And that's the first video. I hope it was some kind of help. I'm going to try to keep them short and do a few more like these, and hopefully they go well. Thanks for your time.